Hey, it is Chris. It is Tuesday, April the 9th. Happy Tuesday. I don't know if that's a thing. So I didn't talk about this on video last week, and I really wanted to because I think it's important. So last week, Donald Trump gave an interview with Hugh Hewitt, who is a conservative radio talk show host. And in the course of the conversation, which went on for like 45 minutes, Hewitt asked Trump if he would debate Joe Biden, and Trump said that he would. And as part of that answer, Hewitt said, "Do you think it's actually going to happen?" Here's what Trump said in response, and I'm quoting here. "I don't think so, but I hope he does. I think what happened is, that white stuff that they happened to find, which happened to be cocaine in the White House. I don't know. I think something's going on there because I watched the State of the Union and he was all jacked up at the beginning. By the end, he was fading fast. There's something going on there. I want a debate, and I think debates, with him at least, should be drug tested. I want a drug test." What? So I'm not even reading between the lines here. I'm just reading the lines. Donald Trump is suggesting strongly that Joe Biden was on cocaine during the State of the Union speech. Yes, on cocaine during the State of the Union speech. Now, you probably haven't heard about this, and that's my point, right? So let's just imagine any other politician saying the president of the United States was on cocaine during the State of the Union speech. It would be a gigantic story, right? I mean, it would be everywhere. The candidate would be asked to provide proof. If he didn't provide proof, there would be pressure on him to recant and apologize, and questions of why would he say something like that. For Trump, I mean, a few people covered it, but by and large, it wasn't a big story, right? My guess, it's a guess, but my guess is, unless you follow politics really closely, this might be the first you're hearing about it. And that's a problem. And I'll tell you why. It's why the media, mainstream media, continues to make mistakes about how they cover Trump. So in order to explain how, let me start back in 2016. So the prevailing wisdom after the 2016 election was cable TV and mainstream media outlets more broadly had given Trump too big a platform, that they had broadcast his speeches live, that they had covered every tweet that he put out, that they made everything he did a big deal, and that sort of created him as a candidate. Now, I don't totally buy that. I think Trump's message is sort of anger, bitterness, resentfulness, victimhood, populism. I think his message resonated with the Republican base. Now, it might have gotten out there faster because of the way he was covered, but I think it would have resonated anyway. I don't think the media created him. They probably amplified him, but didn't create him. Anyway, the after-action report of the 2016 election was the media overcovered Donald Trump. They didn't, in chasing after ratings and clicks, they sacrificed principle. Okay, so the 2020 election was weird because of COVID, so the 2024 election is the first normal election we've had since 2016. We have Trump again. And I think the lesson that media organizations think they've learned is you can't overcover him this time. That you can't cover his every utterance. You can't broadcast his speeches live. You can't do the things they did in 2016. And I actually think that's the wrong way to cover Donald Trump. So on my Substack, I'll put a link. On my politics Substack, I try to go through, anytime I can find a transcript of a Trump speech or a Trump interview, including the one he did with Hugh Hewitt last week, I try to go through it line by line and pull out lines so that people can see this is what this guy is saying, right? This is the Republican presidential nominee saying these things. This guy has a coin flip chance to be the president of the United States. I think that every American should be required to watch in full or attend in full a Trump rally, or if you can't do that, read a transcript, either on my Substack or just a regular transcript, a transcript of a speech or an interview that Donald Trump gives. Because I think the general perception of Trump right now is like, kind of a rough guy personally, but I kind of like what generally speaking, things were good when he was president, right? And I actually think that if you go and listen to his speech or read the transcript of his speech, you're like, wait, what? He said that Joe Biden is on cocaine? He keeps attacking windmills? He has a vendetta against windmills? He says that Joe Biden is a bad golfer? Why are we focused on these things, right? So I actually think by trying to learn the lesson of 2016, don't overcover Trump, we're actually undercovering what Trump says and does now, and that does just as much disservice to the average voter as overcovering him does. So for me, I'm not going to make every video about Donald Trump. I'm not going to write every single post on Substack about Donald Trump, but I am going to cover what he says in interviews and speeches, because what he says is the best indicator of what he will do as president. And yes, accusing the sitting president of being on cocaine during the State of the Union speech deserves a significant amount of media attention, way more than it got. Okay, that's it for me today. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video. Spread the word to your friends. We're almost at 21,000 subscribers. We continue our march forward. That's me marching. Thank you as always for your support, and I'll see you tomorrow.